Hello, this is Greg Galson with Green Greg's coming to you today on the 6th of October, 2020. And I'm here to let you know that Sergei Naryshkin, who is Russia's foreign intelligence chief, warned on Tuesday that the widening conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia over Nagorno-Karabakh region was drawing in thousands of Islamist radicals who posed a threat to Moscow. Now, these are his words. Don't quote me at this. These are his words. Now, what I got to ask you is this a hint? Is this an opening for Russia to enter the war? Is Russia laying down the groundwork for them to enter this conflict under the name of trying to control terrorism? I'm not saying it is what it is. I'm saying, is that their hook to do that? Of course, we all know that Russia also has both a defense pact with Armenia and a military base in Armenia. And we also know that Turkey is getting involved on the side of Azerbaijan. Turkey has said they fully support Azerbaijan. The Armenians have accused Turkey of shooting down one of their jet fighter crafts over their own territory, and that Turkish troops are there, and that they have brought in mercenaries, some of which Ankara, the capital of Turkey, is denying. So let's have a look at some of what's at stake here. Let's have a quick look at Google Earth, and we're going to check this out. Bam. Here's the region under question. Of course, Armenia is in here. And we've got Azerbaijan over here. And the region Nagorno-Karabakh is in here. This is where ethnic Armenians are living within the area that politically belongs to, supposedly, to Azerbaijan. I say supposedly because I always said no people have a right to dominate another people. And that also goes for the Chechens in Russia, so and other things. So Greg Alice is not trying to pick sides based on ethnicity or anything here. I'm just telling you what is. And do let me be clear. I do not believe that one people have the right to control another people. I've said it in several videos, and but that is one of our things that seems to be so typical in our governments today. And I picked on that with that little, my precious, you're mine. You know, that obsessiveness like Gollum had in The Lord of the Rings, which will drive you crazy. And I did it on purpose because that obsessiveness can drive us into all kind of warfare, and it's just not right. One people never owns another anywhere under any circumstances. I don't care who it is. Okay, that said, here's what's at risk. And we know that there is oil from the Caspian Sea. Azerbaijan is oil rich. They got a lot of oil coming out of the Caspian Sea, going into the Black Sea and into the Mediterranean, mainly into the Mediterranean. It goes through Armenia. Also, there's these pipelines through there. This is the crossroads of Europe and the Mideast. I mean, you've got, here is the Caspian Sea, oil-rich Caspian Sea on the east. Iran is down here to the south. Turkey is to the west. Russia is right here. So, you know, we've got Saudi Arabia. We've got Syria. They're all getting involved in this, as you know. And Turkey, who has pledged support to Armenia, to Azerbaijan, to say they fully support it and are getting involved, is a NATO country. But Erdogan, the president of Turkey, seems to be wanting to start his caliphate. He wants to be the caliph of his caliphate, seemingly. And it just so happens that he's got himself involved in conflicts throughout the region that also have him facing off against other NATO members, such as France and Greece. As you know, there's a long-standing conflict between France and Greece over Cyprus and other things, perhaps. At one time, before the Turks settled this area, the Asia Minor area here was actually Greek. Once upon a long time ago. As you know, the Ottoman Empire rose out of that and they even conquered Greece at one time. So there's a lot of conflict between these peoples in these areas. There's a lot of conflict that goes way back between Armenia, Azerbaijan, and some of their neighbors. And as you may know, the Armenians, ethnic Armenians, also lived in Turkey, and there was the Armenian genocide that either caused to be planted or had to be evacuated. 1.5 million Armenians between the period of 1914 and 1921. So there is a lot of angst in here. There is a lot of old conflict. This is a hotbed, a powder keg, but today it's changing. And we're going to talk about some of these changes. We're going to talk about why this is ratcheting up. And we're going to talk about why we should perhaps be concerned with this. I'm going to stop that share. So why are you covering this, Greg Allison? Why, Greg, why does the word man care about Armenia, Azerbaijan, Turkey, Russia? What does that have to do with me sitting here in my home, wherever your home is, anywhere in the world? And I have people that follow me from all over the world. So, including people from the Mideast. I have people from different countries throughout the world, Europe, of course, Australia, and I have people in continental Europe, England, New Zealand, United States, Canada, and these people said, Greg, why should I be concerned? What's this to me? Well, it could brew into a large conflict. As you know, as I mentioned, Turkey is a NATO country. If they get attacked by Russia under certain circumstances, NATO may feel obligated to go in, although it seems that Turkey is really egging for this fight. And we'll go into that in a moment. And that all, y'all can debate that. The cows come home. That's really not the purpose of this discussion. The purpose of this discussion is to tell you that you need to get ready. You need to prepare yourselves. If we can find some way to ratchet this down, if we can find some way through our contacts of people we know and letters we write and calls we can make to bring down these tensions and to make peace and bring people to the negotiating table, that would be the solution. If you know people, if you've got the voices, look, anybody can call their president, their parliament members, their members of Congress, or whatever, and say, hey guys, in some cases, in some countries, they might actually listen to you. So, or maybe you know somebody else that has influence. But barring all that, this could boil over into WW number 3, because it could involve Iran, Syria, and Russia on one side, Turkey, well, also, maybe not Saudi Arabia may be on the side this time, because of Turkey's also been going against Saudi Arabia. But Saudi Arabia normally would be against Iran. So it's going to be this really curious how this can twist. Will the United States get involved? Will NATO get involved? And how would it get involved? On what side would it get involved? I would hope we don't get involved here from the standpoint of the United States, but Turkey has the second largest army in NATO. If it's just Turkey and Russia going at it, it could get ugly. If Turkey try to commandeer the nuclear weapons that the United States has on their ground and in their territory, and why do we still have them there? I hope maybe we've slipped them out, but I know at one time we've had them there, and there was some consternation about that. Let's hope we've got them out of there, but I hadn't heard of that. So we have for a long time had nuclear weapons based in Turkey. Now, that would be a bold grab if they were to try to grab them, and that would cause us to probably come down on Turkey, even if we're a NATO nation. that would be stretching that treaty mighty thin. But Russia does have a defense pact, a treaty with Armenia. They have a base in Armenia. Russia has lots of interest in Armenia. But what you're about to hear is more reasons that Russia is claiming that they would maybe get into this conflict. Well, I'm not saying to get into it, but they seem to be laying the justifications for potentially getting into it. This is what we've got to be aware of. This is what we need to be concerned with. So let's get into that. I'm going to lay that. Before I do that, though, like I said, we've got to get ready. We got to get prepared. The whole purpose of this on my channel is help you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. And that venue, you need to prep. You really do. You need to get ready. Go to the grocery store. Go to the big box stores. Buy that bulk long-term storage stuff. But some of that's hard to carry around, and some of it don't store as long as you might want. Some of the best stuff for long-term storage can be found right here. Let's see. This is, there we go. Right here, you can find My Patriot Supply. You can go to them through prepwithgreg.com. Go to prepwithgreg.com. I have partnered with My Patriot Supply. So if you go to that site, you get a special that you will not get if you go to their site directly. So go to prepwithgreg.com. It will help my channel, and you can get this special. 4 weeks of long-term, 25-year-long food storage for $100 off. That's a heck of a bargain. Right now, the price is pretty cheap. Look at that. For 4 weeks for one person, 3 meals a day, 2,000 calories. Hey, yummy food. It's top-notch chef stuff. And guess what? They also have desserts and drinks to go in with that. So this is good stuff. Lasts 25 years. Hard to beat that, my friends. Hard to beat it. And 25 years from now, the price of food going up. Hey, now you can save $100, it says. And that's right. Look, I'm concerned about food shortages, given a lot of things going on. I'm concerned about the prices going up, given the competition for what's in the market space due to the things that have happened in China. China's going to be buying everything they can to feed their people. That will be expected to drive prices up. If the grid goes down, what are you going to do? Well, grid going down could be a risk of a WWIII. These things could escalate. It could go beyond what's going on in Turkey. I mean, I would almost consider and wonder if Turkey, Erdogan, and Xi Jinping are like the new Axis powers on different, sides of Asia here that may be springing conflict, because once it starts in one area, the guys in the other area might seize the opportunity. Oh, my guys are distracted over here. The guys that's watching me. Now's the time for me to hit over here and wag the dog. That's what you got to be concerned about. So this is why it's very important to prep. It's very important to get ready. $100 off. Right now, those prices are awesome. Get as many of them as you can to get you through the long term and help you cover your family members. The cool thing is it's hydrated, and you can easily carry it in these buckets. So just think, 2 of these buckets is 4-week food supply for you. My friends, you can't beat it. You can get the 1 week supply. If you can't handle this price over here, now these prices may change 2 minutes from now. And by the time you watch this, by the time you click on it, it could be changed. They've been stable for a while, but food prices are going up, my friends. Don't wait long, because I can't promise how long. That'll be a good deal. So I'm gonna stop that share. But I feel like it's important for you to know and understand that you do need to get ready. You need to prep. And there's many ways to prep, but that's a part of it, because food is going to be a big, big question. Also, you can go to My Patriot Supply and click on that logo, and you can get water purification equipment. You can get air purification. You can get all kinds of survival gear there. And, you can only survive 3 days without water, my friends. So you need to really, really think about that. All right, let's get back into this now. So here's what's happened. Sergei Naryshkin, he's the head of Russia's SVR Foreign Intelligence Service. And he said that the conflict, which broke out on the 27th of September, which is over a week now, was attracting, as he described, this is his description, mercenaries and terrorists from the Mideast. And Naryshkin singled out members of the military group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. Forgive me if I murder some of these names, not exactly my native tongue, but I'm trying. And they are a group that was active in Syria. They're formerly known as the Nusra Front. Some of you may remember Nusra. And that was some of the people that were fighting against al-Assad. And some of these people weren't, were pretty closely connected, it seems, to ISIS. So you can imagine all that. Anyway, and there's also another group, Forgot al-Hamza, and that is connected to some of the Kurdish groups. As you know, the Kurds are not too fond of either Syria or, that's one place where Syria and Turkey might be in some agreement. Neither one of them like the Kurds, but the Kurds should have their own country. They should be their own people, and they're divided between all these different countries, and they're picked on and discriminated against in every country then. Well, they've got their own factions because, well, they are divided amongst all these other countries, and just like any group of people has different political parties, factions. The Kurds have that too, but the Kurds are a people, and they do not have self-determination in any country that they're in. And again, that's the possessionness, the possession obsession that I talked about in the previous video. I actually called one of my videos that. So now, again, what Sergei Naryshkin said, he said this. He said, we're talking about hundreds and already even thousands of radicals hoping to earn money in the new Karabakh war. And he posted that on that SVR website. He went on to say, he said that we can't not, I have to be careful when I say I can't and I'm not, right? He said, we can't not be worried that the South Caucasus are capable of becoming a new launch pad for international terrorist organizations from where militants could later cross into states that neighbor Azerbaijan and Armenia, including Russia. Now, see, there's the hint. Why did the United States go to war against Afghanistan? We claimed it was a training ground. See, we already set a precedent in the Gulf War and the wars that followed, mainly the wars that followed 9/11, claiming the same kind of things. So bear in mind, this is the kind of claims that Putin used. Putin rose to war power, pardon me, Vladimir Putin, president of Russia, rose to power over standing tough against the Chechens. And you may remember many years ago, the Chechens attacked a theater in Russia and killed a bunch of people. That was not a good thing, but the Chechens want independence. The fact that they are being held by Russia is not a good thing. So you say, I might weigh in on Russia's favor in some odd places like Crimea, because it's ethnically Russian. But on the other hand, I will say Chechnya belongs to Chechens. So, you know, I am siding on the side of the peoples where they're at, not any country. I'm picking on every country. I'm picking on every religion. I'm picking on anybody and everybody that's possessive against some other people that do not want to be within their control. You know, you're mine, my precious. You know, no, forget that. See, I do that on purpose because that's ludicrous. But that is exactly how these people, you know, when it comes down to it, that's what it is. That's really what it is. That's how these people think. And that's not a good thing. It's not only not a good thing, it's atrocious. It's terrible. But we accept it in our world today. The fact that we accept that is wrong. We need to stop back and look, well, who is really who? Who really should be a who, and who should go with who? In what way should we allow people to be arranged? People should be arranged however they want to. It should be free. I believe in freedom worldwide, not just, you know, you hear me talk about freedom here. Well, I'm talking about on a worldwide basis. So let me get on. So as you know, the fighting in that area in Azerbaijan, Nagorno-Karabakh, is in the area of Azerbaijan that under international law is governed by the ethnic Armenians themselves, but it's supposedly part of Azerbaijan, which it really shouldn't be. That's what the fight is really all about. But it's caused increased concern because Turkey is getting involved. And of course, as I said, they've expressed solidarity with Azerbaijan, saying they will back it fully. And Russia, of course, has that defense pact with Armenia. Well, Narishkin said that a new war in the region was unacceptable to Moscow. Well, yeah, it should be unacceptable to anybody, but apparently it's not. He said it's unacceptable to Moscow, and the latest upsurge in fighting was different from the previous flare-ups due to much larger scale of the fighting. It's been going on for over a week now, and the fact that Turkey has, for the first time, openly and strongly came out in support of Azerbaijan. And even Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, he said on Tuesday that his Turkish counterpart, Recep Erdogan, and I just did a video on him, go back and check a couple of videos back, he accused Erdogan of stirring up the conflict. And of course, Ankara, the capital of Turkey, has denied that. And they are even denying sending mercenaries in, but there's wide reports that that's the case. So now Narishkin is trying to kind of calm it down and put a pretty face on this. So what he's come out and said is, he said, sooner or later, the warring parties under international pressure, would agree to a ceasefire and sit down at the negotiating table, and that would be a good thing. Except that Ankara has made it strongly obvious, and what they've said very devoutly is that they strongly oppose this. Ankara, Turkey, Erdogan is strongly opposing any talks. They do not want peace talks. That's the problem. They keep pushing that, And Russia has already kind of laid it open for their justification to get involved. This is where it can go to WWIII. This is where it can affect you and me. You get a big conflict like that anywhere in the world, and it's going to have repercussions, economic repercussions. It's going to have repercussions of refugees. It's going to have repercussions of international aid, but bigger are the repercussions of others getting involved. If it should get partners involved that would go nuclear, then you've got to worry about a nuclear winter. If this gives opportunity for some of the other bad players in the world, oh, everybody's distracted over here. Now I can go grab my little prize over here, like Taiwan. Again, that obsession, possession. You're mine, precious, my precious, you're mine. Yeah, that is Xi Jinping, a la the Republic of China, Taiwan, which is a separate independent country that's never been under the People's Republic of China. It's not a breakaway republic, never was a breakaway republic, and they determine and want to be free and independent. As I said, anybody who wants to be free and independent should have the right to be there, including Tibet, including the Uyghurs and Inner Mongolia. And apparently the people of Hong Kong don't want to be in China. So why should they have to be? It's because, the Britain signed a peace treaty to give it back to them. But then again, Hong Kong was never either under the communist rule of the People's Republic of China. Not directly, because it was administered by England for quite a while. And the Treaty with England said that they were to be two systems until the year 2047. And the People's Republic of China, under the Communist Chinese Communist Party and Xi Jinping, broke that treaty. Therefore, their claims to that ought to be invalidated. In fact, I would say that the people of Hong Kong are really more aligned with the people of Taiwan, the Republic of China. So maybe that's the way it ought to be. But I'll have to report soon. There's some civil strife going on in China that may bring down the CCP, or at least Xi Jinping, hopefully CCP, because whatever faction takes over is not going to be pretty. So there's going to be a super report down the road about potential, maybe for freedom to return to that land. Listen, guys, what I always say in this channel is there's good people of every race, creed, background, and living in every part of the world. But there's also bad people. And the bad people tend to float up in power because corruption corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So even if they're good, when they get that kind of power, they tend to turn corrupt. And a lot of these systems, especially one-party systems, are conducive, conductive, and encouraging of corruption. That's just the way they're structured, because they don't have the checks and balances that you need to have the right kind of rights, justice, and liberty. They just don't happen there in any one-party system. So one-party politics is not a good thing in any country, in any shape, form, or fashion, under any ism. So I'm being very general here. Somebody, okay, you're just American. You just no, I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about one people does not have the right to control another people, whoever it is, wherever they are. And I'm also talking about the corruptions that are out there in systems. I talk about that till my face turns blue on this channel over and over and over, and people jump up and try to make a quick interpretation and accuse me of this and accuse me of that. Well, you need to go back and listen to all my videos and what I'm saying, because what I'm telling you is that people do not have the right to control other people. People should have self-determination, whoever they are, wherever they are, whether they're Chechenian or whether they're are the Armenians living in Azerbaijan, or whether they're the Russians that live in Crimea. Sometimes I get brain locked. Next little bit, let me shake the cobwebs out, okay? So people should have the right of self-determination. But also, we've got to learn to get along with each other peacefully in this world. You can't do that very well, though, when you've got ginormous powers out there that are being adventurous militarily, such as Xi Jinping and Recep Erdogan. So therein lies the risk. We have players in the world, just like we had players in the world in World War II, like Hitler and Mussolini, who today are setting their designs on other peoples and other places, and they're expanding their sphere and try to grab more. It's not a good thing. Shouldn't be tolerated. We said never again when we discovered how the Jews were massacred in the Holocaust. Yet we are allowing things like that to happen today with the Uyghurs in China. It's funny how so many Islamist people, Muslims, don't really speak up for their brothers in China, the Uyghurs. And now China is beginning to extend that to other Muslims in China. So that kind of practice. So my friends, you know, I'm not picking on any creed, color, or ethnicity. I don't do that. I say I always said, and I always have said, there's good people in all these, but I will pick on individuals who are not serving the purpose of liberty and self-determination. They don't have the right through their own determination to be the king of the world. We should never have the king of the world. The king of the world would be a terrible thing because the power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So if you had one guy running this whole world, it'd be the most corrupt individual that ever existed. And the world would be in a sad shape because where would you go to run away? If you didn't have some other country, you might disagree with this country or that country, but if you don't like what's going on over here, you can always go over there. If it's one world, you can't do that anymore, right? So that's what you got to worry about. That is the problem. That is a big, 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 big risk. So, and for that reason, you really, really, really need to consider what you would do in these circumstances. How would you get yourself ready? How do you prepare your family? That's why you need to do the things that I'm talking about, the prepping. I cover in this channel a lot of topics on gardening, how to grow your gardens without having to go to the stores by using worm casts and compost. I do a lot more garden bed prep in my videos than most of it. It's boring typically, and that's not what a lot of people want to see. But that's what you need to know, because that's how you get by and how you grow without going to the store to buy stuff that you won't be able to buy. So yeah, it's not as sexy and fancy, and it's not a quick video. And you know, like a lot of these other channels, well, put the seeds in, do this, do that, and people go, yeah, and they just eat those videos up, and they go a million, whereas mine gets a few hundred. But I'm showing you what you really need to know in the long run. Those are the most important things. How to prep your bed. I'll show you how to eat and forage wild, how to go out and get things from the wilderness around you. There's tons of food out there. And I'll talk about prepping. We'll talk more about prepping in the future if we have the future to do it in. And I also try to dispel things that I think we shouldn't be worried about. You know, there were some people back in August who said, oh my gosh, there's going to be this ginormous planet that's going to come through the solar system, and it's going to be immediately obvious to everybody. No one will be able to deny that in the month of September. We have expert sources from the Pentagon, from the intelligence community, top sources that have told us absolutely that no one on earth will be able to not deny this by the month of September. Now, those channels that were announced, that one in particular, is a good guy, really good guy. And the guy that he was referenced to had credentials. I mean, serious credentials. So I can see why he'd say that. I ain't blaming him, really. But what was behind the guy telling him that, huh? You know, are they trying to make our alternative news channels look bad? Are they trying to discredit us by feeding us stuff and then kind of stepping back and snickering? I don't know. But sometimes it helps to be able to discern what's coming. Well, guess what? It's October. We're a week into October, and all that stuff that was predicted for September. Hey, oh yeah, there were a few little asteroids zip by, but none of them were really threatening to us. Not in the month of September. They've all had bigger ones had a wide enough berth that we didn't have to worry. Yeah, well, a couple went in under our geosynchronous satellites, but that's 22 to 23,000 miles above the surface of the Earth. Earth is only 8,000 miles in diameter. So compared to that, that's way out here. They went zip over there. So that's a fair miss. And most of them weren't that big. The biggest one made the size of a bus or something. If it had hit, it could have been like a Chelyabinsk event. Of course, you might have had an event like you had in Tunguska in 1908. That would be a bad local event if you get one of those. I'm not saying asteroids aren't to be worried about. I do worry about them. I talk about them. I'm a space guy. And that's one of the reasons we should have a space program, is to defend ourselves against asteroids. But what I'm telling you, when I come out and said that video that I did, you know, no Nibiru comes not this way, is it wasn't going to happen, especially in the month of September, anytime in our foreseeable future. But so I just come in here and I tell you about things you don't need to worry about. I tell you things that you need to be concerned about. Our power grid is our key weakness. Our power grid is a real critical weakness, and nobody's fixing it. And some people say, well, Greg, they're going to pull the switch. That's what it's going to be then. Well, essentially, they're already doing it because they aren't doing anything to fix it. Yeah, they'll do paper studies. They'll give it lip service, but they're really fundamentally not getting in there and doing the job. That's what you got to worry about. Okay. That's one of the things. There are other things you got to worry about. And ultimately, I'm going to do another video coming up real soon about what you really ought to worry about most of all is people, the puppet masters. Okay, get it? And that's and we're all being played, my friends. We're all being played. So we need to wake up to become the masters of our own destiny. That is what we need to do. And I'm going to try to help people toward that end as much as I can. I'm one guy, I'm one person. I got a full-time job that works me a lot of hours. I've got a worm farm I got to get back up to selling. I do have worms. I'm just not yet ready to sell them. And I won't, but I will do that. I got to redo my website. I got a ton of things to do. I still haven't got my taxes done. I got a deferral to the 15th of October, which is racing up on me. I'm going to have to kind of feather a few things back and work on that. I've got a lot of things involved. It's been a tough year. This year has been a real bad year for me in many regards. Had a lot of bad things happen this year. It's just been tough. So there's a lot of things to look at. You know, I've also got a garden, a market garden, and it's suffering right now. I've got, you know, like I said, 2 YouTube channels. I'm a busy puppy, and I've started the Freedom Restoration Foundation. And I'm trying to organize a tribe movement. Why? Because these things are needed. That's why I do these videos. I really don't have time to do all these videos. I do them because they're needed. You need them. I need to be working on my taxes because I'm probably going to pay a ginormous fine because I'm going to have a hard time meeting this October 15th deadline. I really am skeptical I'm going to make it right now. There's some other things that's just got my attention too. I'm going to do one other video real soon. I've already got most of it prepped on galactic eggs. Guys, it's going to blow your socks up when I want you on galactic eggs. You see my habitat, my universal habitat design? Oh, yeah, I've taken it to the city scale. To Venus. Hey, you can't settle Venus. Oh, yes, you can. Well, you see my video. It's even better than Mars, once you know how to do it. So, all right, if you're a flat earther, you're probably not a happy camper. Oh, well. I'm not a flat earther, if you hadn't noticed. All righty. So, you know, hey, I'll tolerate flat earthers. Just letting you know I'm not one. But I'm not here. You know, somebody, oh, you're against God. No. That is ludicrous. I always talk about the greater creator. If you haven't ever listened to me, you'll know that. Maybe my God is bigger than one that has to just lord over a little petri dish, you know, of a planet. My God, the greater creator, rules a vast multiverse. There you go. All right. I'm not here to talk about religion. This is not a religious channel, though. That is not what I'm here for, not to talk about any religion. And when I do have little prayer sessions or some of my live sessions, you note that I tell everybody to play according to their faith. Okay? Whatever their faith is. If you don't have a faith, that's fine. You know, you can meditate. All that said. If you're wanting to join the tribe movement, I do have any volunteers. It's really working the list now, so things are starting to make. She's had a big backlog, but things are starting to happen. So you can email me at hal5space@aol.com. I'll put the link below. We just started a Facebook group for the Freedom Restoration Foundation. We're going to set up a website for that down the road. We got some to do on that. We got a lot of work to do. We are sending out letters for things to oppose things that we don't want to be made mandatory. If you know what I mean. There's well, we're actively engaged in that at state and federal level, and we've got a lot of legislation that we are tracking. We have a spreadsheet just with bills in it that we're tracking right now. So we are engaged. We're involved. We hope to get more people involved in that. So also you can, for the time being, email me at hal5space@aol.com and put freedom in the subject line if you're interested in the Freedom Restoration Foundation. Put tribes in the subject line if you're interested in the tribe network. Okay, I've gone on enough here. Just know and understand the world is at risk right now. But WWIII, we're at risk like I've never seen before, because things in my lifetime, between what's going on in our Armenia and Azerbaijan what's going on over in the sphere of China and all around it. It seems to be wanting and coveting territories in every country anywhere around it and far removed from it. Take the 9-dash line. It goes way down in the South China Sea, 2,000 miles beyond anything that China should have a right to claim. Okay, you're being American, it's just national. No, okay, we're talking about Indonesia, you're talking about Malaysia, you're talking about the Philippines, Vietnam. That's right next to them. That's within the middle of all these countries, far removed from China, and China's claiming. So that's got nothing to do with being American. Oh yeah, India, Russia. China's claiming territories in all these countries. They've been holding back the rivers going into Cambodia and the Mekong. They're very, very aggressive right now, and it's starting to backfire on them. So hopefully people come to wisdom and take these aggressive people down from their power, from their pedestal, so that they can't start these WW whatevers. Okay, that's my hope. We can all pray for that, if nothing else. If you don't know people, you can't get personally involved in that, pray for it. Absolutely, pray to your Creator as you would normally pray. Because I'm not here to tell you how to do it. That's not my job. It's not what this channel is all about. But I will also say, first and foremost, get centered, get right with your Maker, and then prepare, get ready. I don't care who you are, where you're at in the world, this would affect you if it boils over. Get ready in whatever way you can. Help yourself, help your family. Think about what you need to provide your own food, clean water, defense of your home and your family, things you have, properly hiding stuff. Think about the tactics of how you would deal with people coming around and what to do. Those are important things. Me, everybody says, Greg, you're a gardener. You're on YouTube. Everybody knows you got a garden. Have you seen my garden? You know what I got in it mostly? Garlic, turmeric. So the hordes are going to have an interesting time making meals out of garlic and turmeric. Anyway, everyone. And yeah, I consider the other sides of those things. Don't think about, Greg Allison hadn't thought about it when I painted a target on my back to do this YouTube channel. All right, everyone. Y'all take care. Get ready. Get prepared. We got strife going on internationally, strife going on inside of our countries. I say countries. There's just, we're living in a tumultuous time. So I wish everyone the best. And so that I know that you've watched it this long, say, Greg, we don't want to erase our hopes for the future. There you go, erase. I got to come up with something, right? Oh, yeah, I know you've watched me this long. Everyone, appreciate everyone who watches me. I got great followers. Please spread my videos around in social media as much as you can. The algorithms have not been favoring me too much of late. Anyway, everyone, thank you for watching.